Tanuj, is your audio working now? Or Josh?
Yes, my one is working, but so like my topic is not more of discussion. So like if
Mhm.
is Lee going to join today?
I think so.
Okay, so like I think I have to wait because like I'll have to talk to him first. So like it's not.
Gotcha.
So it's basically I wanted the data for the SEO, like the meta descriptions for all the pages. So I made a sheet and I've shared with him, but I'll present it once he joins.
Gotcha. Does anybody know if Nikhil is pending? I haven't been able to get a response from him. If not, well, let's get started. Jonas, hey, have you attended a call before? If not, we like to do small introductions for people who haven't been on calls before. If you can, please do speak up. All right. If you can't, or if you can't unmute yourself, the chat works as well. Tanuj, will you be starting us off today?
Am I audible?
Uh, Deadly.
Let me. Something is wrong with Zoom. Yeah, it's working. Other please let me check.
All right. Sure. In the meanwhile, Josh, are there any updates remaining that nobody's working on?
Yeah, so I'll just uh, so for the meshmates page, I think Augustine has provided a newer uh, refined design.
Mm-hmm.
So Tanuj is going to work on it for now on the meshmates design.
Mm-hmm.
So like uh, I think we are not sure about the distributed performance page yet. Like what are we going to exactly like? Are we going to keep it as it is, or are we going to remove it or something? And another one is I think the partners page. I think someone is already working on the partners page,
Okay.
Um,
if I'm not wrong.
Good
So
afternoon,
is that
everyone.
yeah.
Hey. All right. Let's look into this. Let's look into who's working on the partners page and the distributed page.
Okay, the
No,
distributed
No,
no.
page.
the distributed page is like something like Lee said that either will be scraping off the page from the new website. So like I don't think we reached on a conclusion on that day. So I think we'll have to confirm it. Are we going to have it on the new website or not?
Yeah, we just finished over the weekend. I made a design for the distributed performance.
Performance management. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Lee is yet to approve it, so immediately it gives the approval and just a few images left for us to conclude the page. So when that's done, I'll definitely buzz you guys about it. And for the home page, we're doing a fifth iteration of the home page because
Mhm.
we decided against the wave, although it was Mr. Lee said it was cool, but we want to keep iterating till we get a perfect one.
All right.
Yeah. So like Meshery project has 3 pages, out of which all of 3 have a little bit of improvement, I guess. So like uh, the
Am I audible?
index page. Yeah, Tanuj.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the partners page Shubhank is working on.
Mhm.
The Meshy page, the getting started page design is approved that, and I implemented some part of it. That is the page I listed currently. Two pages are left. Both of them I think needs to be approved first, and the home page design is left to be approved.
Okay. Anything else? Anything that Lee has to approve before we go
Uh,
on with it?
Two mastery pages.
Okay.
There are total three mastery pages. One is done. Two are left to be approved.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so by the time I think someone opened up an PR for the community page maintainer section, so I'll have to look into it once.
It's a draft pair. Currently, I think it's not present.
Yeah, it's a draft, but I think it's complete from him, but
Mm,
just the preview is not available. So
the community maintainer, not this.
Gotcha.
have you
Okay.
checked it out, Tanuj?
No, this.
Any idea why the preview is not available?
Uh, uh, During that time, we finished the build minute, so that it was not available. If it pushes the new commit, it will
Mm-hmm.
automatically trigger the deploy.
Okay.
For the updated design of mesh page, are you working on it, Tanuj?
I, I will take it up next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, and for the individual pages, you have just pushed the PR, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I
All right.
think like the two mastery pages and the home page are the like main things that we
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so this is an easier way to track, so we can just iterate over this thing.
Yep. All right. Let's go through these ones and just
Mhm.
see who's working on what.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So nobody's working on this one. Also, welcome back to the call, Aditya. Again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm very sorry. Please do correct me. All right. Any idea who would want to work on this?
I think Nikhil pointed out that it may be issue with
Mm-hmm.
Netlify, so he told to wait till we go to the master branch.
All right. You're waiting on this.
This I think is a issue for the previous website.
All right. Um, are you sure?
Yeah, this I think we'll be so so this was a like controversial thing. Either we'll be having it after live or before live. I don't remember exactly. So Augustine, did Lee talk to you anything about this section?
Yeah, we actually added that in the home page design, the new design.
Hmm.
Right.
Yes,
Okay, means that's the design is part is covered, right?
yes, I actually implemented that aspect in the design. It will also be
Okay.
added in the new design that is being worked on.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's all. Um,
What's next?
this one.
Uh, so I think I am taking this up along with the SEO part. I'll be taking it up.
All right.
Like
Do you
the
need
SEO
descriptions
meta
too?
description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need. Yeah, I need. So I was like waiting for Lee. So I already want. So what I thought of was like if we could add the SEO meta descriptions, like the content
Mhm.
would be same, like the description on the page and the SEO meta description would be the same. Like if it's so, I just
Okay,
wanted to ask if we can do that.
fair enough. Just a second, taking notes as well.
Um, I don't remember this thing. Mm,
Okay. Right. Does he mean that the tables can be used as a
the
separate component and
landscape page.
added in pages here?
Yeah, in the landscape page, something I think so.
All right. Let's ask him when he gets here.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, FAQ page. I think. Yeah, the inactive active state. So like the last pair got merged. So I think now we
Mhm.
can. Uh, yeah. So he's already been working on it. So I think Lee had already provided some feedback.
All right. Yes, I think this is
Uh,
almost done.
Hello, Jess.
Tarun
I
is
just had a
yeah. Please go ahead.
yeah. I just had a small doubt. So I'm building that partners page.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards that there is this one learn more segment added in the pop like in the with every organization there is this learn more button, which I
Mm-hmm.
suppose has to unfold itself, sort of like a pop out, and then again close up, which is I think implemented in on a similar page of workshops. So I
Mm-hmm.
was a little confused when I was going through how to implement the page. If you could just like help me out with
So are we like the same thing is also being used in the Katakoda lab? So I don't you think, Augustine, it will be like the similar usage of design on many pages?
yeah, I think I actually did not check out the Katakoda page. So if it is there, then I'll definitely pick out because again with the component sort of thing, I could not find a definitive file that you could implement. So I saw that there was this state declaration in
So
the
I'll just
workshop pages and everything. So I wasn't very familiar with that code. So if is it like this exactly the same component that is being used in the labs as well?
What screen currently? So we just I explain it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you just open it and then show me what exactly is giving you a bit of confusion on it. So discuss on
Shubhang, would you want to share your screen, or should I?
Actually, I just joined the meeting, so it will
Okay.
take me a little time to share the screen and all. But yeah, I
Okay.
think I'll just start to do that.
Is this what we're talking about,
Yeah,
Austin?
that's the interactive labs, and those are using a similar design as. So Josh's concern is that, hey, maybe we're about to start to use that same design in too many places, and we start to look. It starts to become boring, or it becomes like we've been trying to avoid. We have lots of collections of things. We have a collection of labs. We have a collection of partners. We have a collection of books. We have a collection of workshops. We have a collection. We have collections, and we have grids, and then we have cards, and the cards, so ideally they don't look the same. The nice thing about this one is in look it does look quite different. If you click on open scenario, it will go ahead and it'll take up the full width of that section, and you can pop it out if you want to. And so, yeah, so Shubonk, there's two places where this where the workshop style expansion of a card is being used. One is in workshops, the other one is in Service Mesh Labs. That's the name of the
Okay.
component. And so it would be it'd be nice if it I mean it'd be yeah, you might be able to leverage a lot of the same code, but and ultimately have the that transition effect work slightly differently, but it might be easy to base it off of the same code base. And that is that the hard part, I think, is mostly just, hey, how do you push other elements out of the way, expand your current one, and have a small transition? And the funny thing is, like, it's not as hard as it sounds. Really hard, actually, but it's actually not. But yeah, so hopefully that helps. So, Service Mesh Labs is the name of this one.
Okay, I'll try to implement this once, because the only expansion that I'll need is just in a direction that is downwards. So I think the better suited one to this would be a more simplified version of any of the implementations, because even in the workshops one, it pushes the right hand side and around components as well, along with the lower and like upper components. But in case of partnered, it just has to push all the components that are below it. So I think
Right.
that would be a little
Yeah.
more easier than to implement than these.
Yeah, you might find that the on-click action is that it's setting the height of a component that is otherwise a component that has a height of 0 is setting it to like 100% or what, or some pixel, and that all the other components get pushed down. Like the only thing that you're actually having to do is just like this transition, and sometimes it's as simple as a single line.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't mean to make it say that like, hey, whatever you're about to do is so easy and it's just easy as pie. Like, that's not what I'm not trying to detract from that at all. Actually, I'm trying to be encouraging and say, oh, you might find that like, hey, this wasn't like this is feasible. It is doable. And yeah, totally leveraging code or like playing with another very similar design and being able to tweak from there is, for me, is always a lot easier.
Okay. I just had a quick one more request regarding the same page. So currently the icons that are there on the partners page, it is of I think 120 cross 120, and the latest design that needs the left and right shifting of components as there in the Figma design. So I think the icon size needs to be increased to 240 cross 240. So if
Shreya,
I
you can
could have
open
the
the Figma design.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Where are the partners in your company? So are you guys able to see this screen?
Yeah.
yeah. So the icons
Yeah,
that are
no.
there.
Yep. So the answer is no. They don't need to be use the same icons that are there. That you do want to. This is an SVG. So is this. So this is not, I believe.
No, but I think currently using the same icons, and I've achieved this left and right configuration. But the thing
Nice.
is that it will actually look very neat if the icons match, the height and the width of the icons match according to the columns that are there. uh, like like the University of
Sure.
Texas at Austin has like 5 lines, right? So it would be ideal that if the icon span could be at least till the size of the entire paragraph. So I think this particular design suits it currently. Currently the icons are at 120 cross 120. So I tried to like shift them at 240 cross 240. But again, it looks ugly because the icons are quite small. So if
Okay.
we can have
Yeah,
the,
if you toss up a PR, I'll make sure that it gets the right.
yeah, I'll do that.
And you don't want to, um, you don't want to specify both the height and the width, only either the height or the width, so that you avoid skewing the aspect ratio, which is an issue that some of us have.
Okay.
um, the other thing is that this green is not to be there. So it's just the
Yeah, it's just the icon. Yep, that I got the idea. Cool.
But yeah, you're right. Some of the icons are, unfortunately, like the versions that we have of them are the horizontal version, not the square. We have, that said, we have lots of versions of each. And so sometimes those are harder to find. But at least for the most part, these are the square ones. This one, unfortunately, this is the only available square. This one is fine that we would just use the icon. There's an Istio SVG that you'll find in the,
Okay.
anyway.
So I'll raise the PR and then I think we can have a discussion on that, on how to do stuff from there.
Nice.
So I think I've done all. I'm sorry that I'm not able to share my screen right now, but for the progress of this, I think I've done all the left and right alignment of everything. I have done with the header part. I'm almost there with that learn more and the button after that. All I need to work on is now that as soon as you click on that button and you have that loading of a card like this.
I would like to just ask a question. Like, are we going to have a card for this?
The thought is that, go ahead, Shubham.
Like, do we have data for each of the, like for the previous partners page we aren't having any something like those. So I just wanted to confirm, like, are we going to, or is this something that's post NG live, or like I don't know regarding the drop down, like how what will be incorporating into the drop down part.
Right. For the most part, the content isn't there, or some of it is easy enough and is there. For example, there's this HashiCorp partnership. There's a blog on the partnership, and so it has lots of available content. This Istio one, also very easy to whip up based on how much we do there. Same thing for the service mesh interface. There's a page that we have and a couple of blogs that we have on it. It's possible that that if we didn't have a further description and they were just engaging with us, but we weren't doing something specific that we could have a story on, is that we might not we just remove the learn more, or the learn more just points to redhat.com. And so that's a good point that
Yeah, so
capability.
yeah, my point exactly is that I don't think there is a need, like on the partners page generally it's a short description, a short paragraph describing the partnership, and so like the extra drop down and those things I don't think will be required. Like it depends totally on you, but I think like it's not needed to have the extra information for a partners page. Like we can like if we have blogs or something, we could provide links, like the learn more could be an external link to the blog or the website's page or something. But yeah, so like it's we can ask for opinions for it if required.
Yep, it's a fair call out. It is something that could go, that could be delivered after we go live. Like there's a current version of or I guess I should say, we could go live with just a link, or we could go live without the learn more, still having the new design with alternating entries. Like that would suffice. We want to, and there isn't readily available content for all of these things. But we want to stretch ourselves to get there. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't get there, shouldn't do it, that there isn't something to be written. Like there is for every single one of these, that there is. Whether or not how handy it is another question. The reason I'm late for the meeting is one, I'm battling with my remembering to set my alarm clock, but two, because I'm up late filling in some of that content. So
Mm-hmm.
Josh, it's a fair thing. You're right. Although we'll get there. We'll fill it in.
Okay, so like I just wanted to just add one thing. Like if we have the data, we can have it. Like if we don't have the data, then we should skip it, because like having empty drop downs at any point won't be looking good at the point we go live, because at the point we go live, people would be checking it out. So like if we have the data, we keep it, or we remove it for now and then we add it
Yeah,
later on.
we can like do that way that we remove the learn more part completely currently from all the partners page, and we open up a PR after it goes live, like discussing the content that is available for all the partners, and then we can again revisit it and probably have a drop down sort of thing that was like discussed with this original idea.
Yeah. So here, all right. So this is going the wrong way. No, implement the functionality. That's what we're. So don't hold up on that. The functionality can be if there isn't content, don't show the learn more. Like there can be a simple switch in the property of that, or a simple hide, or we just simply don't include that HTML on that one. We're not going to release with empty things, and since we're trying to release it, we do come down to this kind of crunch mode of like, well, okay, we just have to make a tough decision, and like, hey, okay, that doesn't go in, but it doesn't mean that you literally can't even merge the PRs. You totally can. Just don't display those things. So just have a flag or a conditional that says if no link, supply, if this component isn't populated, then you don't. It doesn't have to be a component, but this area. And that's really
exactly.
easy.
So yeah.
It's not a lot of code. It's very, very easy.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just push it up in the PR, and then we can decide on which we have to keep
Like
and for not.
it will be simple end statement. Like if you know, like we just like for anything to display, we can use a simple boolean and we can just do that thing as Lee said.
For this
It's
component, if available, then drop down is equal
yeah,
to
exactly.
set or else remove, sort of like.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll try to implement that.
Nice. All right.
Right. Lee, could you update us on what this was? Nobody is very sure about it.
Oh yeah. So project SMI conformance, alternating row colors, common style sheet. SMI. Yeah. So if you're able to browse to the current site, and you were to go over to projects and SMI conformance.
Mhm.
That Dhruv and no, could go back to the issue one time if you would. Yeah. So okay. Head back to the website. Actually, if you go to the landscape area, there's a couple of tables on the page. One of them has to do, the bottommost has to do with SMI. So that one. And at the time, so it's resolved actually. I mean, at the time this looked a lot different. It was a totally different implementation. Nikhil was asking, hey, why aren't we using the same table component? And it's been figured out.
All right. Why does this? Why
No,
is this
it's not
not
an
there?
it's 50% past.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's an
And
issue open for this, right?
yeah, I asked for this thing.
All right.
So we can we close this issue, Lee?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. This has been done, right? This is just a tracking issue. So moving on, the contact page. I think we're not very sure who is working on this. Raghav was supposed to, but I guess it didn't work out. Josh, any idea who's working on this, or if somebody is?
So I think we didn't require like this was so the model like I think Lee knows better. So this was something like, do we need to have it inside the model or directly on the page or something, right?
Sorry, I stepped away
Yeah.
for it.
Yep. So it was.
Yeah. So if you cruise over the page, it'll be a little bit easier to explain. I think what's implemented currently suffices for go live. I think if you can, Shriti, do you mind?
Oh, sure.
Just since you're sharing, it's if you go all the way to the bottom in the footer, there's an contact on the lower right hand side. It's like, the concern, the question, the comment, the thought, the concern was like, instead of, in some respects, this is a little bit of what Shubhank is about to go do. He's about to like, click on a partner, click on a learn more, and he's going to show something down below. In this case, there's no transition effect. It's just like an immediate, it's just like a visibility thing. The thought was, hey, maybe we should show that in a modal and have that displayed in that way. And I consider that might be a little bit nicer, but it's not important enough to hold anything back on. So there's a label, an issue label that collectively we can begin to use. And you'll see them when you're in GitHub. There's two issue labels. One says post ng go live. The other one says ng go live. So on this one, we could probably, I guess I would vote that we could move it to post ng go live, because that's weird. That was, you know what, Shriti, I misused my words. It's not a label as much as it's a milestone.
It's a milestone. Yep.
Now, where this becomes, there's kind of a second reason that this is potentially important, that it's its own page, it's its own component that can be displayed in other areas, is that there's a few different things that we'll be asking of people. It's like, are you interested in a workshop? Contact, like fill in this for, just quickly fill in this form. Are you interested in signing up for the newsletter, contacting us for a workshop, getting some help with Meshery, joining the community calls. Like today, a lot of when we say join the community, the link, a lot of times, we have a number of links that go to newcomers or to community or to, and that's perfect. We're like giving them all the resources, telling them about the journey. But at some point it's like, okay, well, literally, like, what else do I do? How else do I join the community? Okay, some of the buttons, they'll take you to Slack and you can sign in and sort of that's the place, center of gravity. But that flow, we can start to change that a little bit. So my point is a form like this, we could say, join the community. And there is currently, Shriti, can you visit it's the newcomers page. So one of the ways to get to that is community, and on the mega menu on the lower, the two lowest, sorry, not the footer, but when you hover over community up above, the menu that pops up where it says join the community. Yeah. That should take, I think that takes you to the, I guess not, it's supposed to take you to the newcomers. But on here, if you go to the very bottom, I think it's something, the call to action is like, hop in if you're new. We need to change that with the wording, but that takes you to newcomers. If you go to about the middle of the page here, one of the places where you can I don't know if it's been implemented yet. It doesn't look like it's been implemented. There's a form to fill in. It just asks for your email address. And that should be, we should facilitate an alternative way of joining the community. Like we would send them a different email saying, you know, thanks so much for signing up. You know, here's some of those first resources, and you definitely want to sign up for Slack. So long-winded way of saying that other issue can be post go live. It's a good reminder that we do want a couple of different types of forms.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So I think there's some like, can we add a bottom margin in the newcomers page? I just noticed it right now. Can you open up the newcomers page once, Shriti?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this two needs to be differentiated as it looks as a card. So if anyone on the call wants to open up an issue and fix it, it will be very good. I think so.
I'll definitely open an issue. Since we were talking about the other form, it'd be good to ask if anyone has currently signed up to take on this challenge. Let me show you what I was trying to show a moment ago. Oh, you know what? I guess it's going to be going on to the Meshmate page. It doesn't mean that we couldn't use it in other areas. But this was what I was trying to call to, is that, oh, hey, why don't you sign up for the community call? Oh, okay, that would be kind of an alternative entry point, like, you know, for bringing someone in. It could be the community call, and probably on the newcomers page, it could be like the newcomers call. On the other pages, it could be the like all the calls, right? Each of the page, there's a number, all the calls are represented here. So I'll take a note also to, like, that's a good one to write up. That, and it doesn't have to be, but there's any number of things that, by the way, that, like, I have ants in my pants. Boy, I haven't said that in like a couple of decades, I think. I have ants in my pants about publishing the site. Good, my goodness, I can't wait for people to see what you guys have done. Okay, anyway, is anybody working on that, like this?
Yeah, it's done.
Oh, it's done.
This is already implemented.
Nice. Is this a I'm gonna use the
no,
word
no, it's not a component.
I will do that in my PRM. I have to do some updates on the Meshmate page, so I was planning to
nice.
create components out of it.
Beautiful. Okay, so that it can be taken to a couple of other places, because that would be great. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So Shriti, next issue.
Yeah. Let me just go back.
And yeah, you can just reload once I have closed 2 or 3 issues right now.
All right. Just a
Yeah,
sec.
we went on to 36 complete. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
These are
The
all the
partners
issues
page.
that have to be like closed before we go live, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Tentatively so, at least. All right. So the partners page is being worked on by Shabang. We already talked about it. Nikhil is working on this, right? If I'm not wrong. Yep.
Go ahead, Tommy. Shriti, if you scroll back to the top, overlapping text in each interactive. Well, I forgot that this was hanging out there. This is, at this point, it is being worked on. I think it's fixed. It's Vineeth is the, well, yeah, I hesitate to say the man, but I mean, Vineeth is the person who has wrangled these pages, and we've just been iterating a little bit. So this is a perfect thing for us to talk about, is reviewing the service mesh, the interactive labs there.
Mhm.
So, oh, nice. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. If you want to, Shruti, it's learn. Yep. Service mesh. Yeah. And I don't know where we got these initial interactive labs, but they're pretty good. So, okay. All right. That didn't embarrass you. So,
I'm used to it. That's fine.
so there's a few. So I came in and tried to help. I think we're in a better spot, but hopefully I didn't mess up things. So Vineeth, hopefully this is welcomed. A few things that I'll highlight real quick is that, wow, I wish I could control the mouse, but there's now a little bit of padding inside of, there's margin on the outside of the cards, a little bit of padding on the inside. There's a new like expand this card icon. So there is the open scenario one, which does leave the user on the current page. That one will open up the interactive lab into its own page. It may not always be obvious to users that the maximize square X thing is available inside the scenario. Yeah. Which, will take up the entire
That
screen.
actually removes the instructions, so this is a better option.
Oh, okay. And so the other one, if you want to go ahead and yeah, click the, yeah. So there's the all labs cookie crumb, so to speak. It's not a cookie crumb, but it's the all labs back button. Which is good. We might consider that there's a call to action at the bottom. It might, and the call to action might just be like, see this related set of labs. So that's a good, I'm going to write that down as a post go live thing. And then if you go back to the grid, a couple things we were trying out new, and if it feels like this was designed on the fly, then that's accurate. The tabs on the left hand side separate out collections of courses, or I'm sorry, different types of related labs. These two are kind of related. The other 6 or 5 or something are related. The tabs are not supposed to be overlapping over there with the cards, so that's an issue. Feedback from everyone on the call. Maybe each of you could load it in your browsers and get a feel for it. Like, is it intuitive enough, or would people miss the fact that there are tabs on the left-hand side? Would people be wondering, like, okay, open scenario, like, play around with it for a moment if you would,
So the functionalities looks good to me, all, and the drop down and all, but the color can be fixed, I think.
Just one more thing. This is hard to click these. I think the area of the button is fixed till here, so you can't really click it here. You have to move your mouse.
Good one. Yeah.
I'm not having this issue on my. I don't know why it's happening.
Tanu, say it one more time. This time, say it into the mic.
I don't know, something is happening with my Zoom. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
I'm telling that this overlapping issue is not happening in my system.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't happen to mine, or it only happens in certain browsers. I think it happens in Safari like it happens in Firefox.
Yeah.
Which is, it's broken. Vineeth, I wasn't able to get that last issue over the hump. You might have a look, Vineeth.
Lee, actually, do we want that those tabs to be spaced, or they want stacked?
Is- I was thinking that they would be touching and that they wouldn't take up the full height, because that gives them more of a tab feel. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Actually, if I can share the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Is this visible?
Yep.
Okay, so the problem with your edit is the padding issue. Uh, so just removing the display flex. So this would fix it, I guess. Which
It's looking pretty good. I mean, who else can be critical here? Like, something to be critical of, I think, in general, is like when you click on a card. By the way, you can click anywhere on the card, right? And you don't have to.
there's some issue here.
An issue.
I mean, it's because of the wrong padding, something like that.
Okay. So that's the tab. So yeah, the tab has an issue, but on the cards themselves, on the interactive
I mean, no.
scenario,
Okay, sure.
you can click anywhere, right? It just
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we can click anywhere.
Do that again if you would. Okay, so there's a little bit of a formatting issue with the logo. The logo in the description, and actually, like, the logo is just kind of taking up more room than is necessary, because like at that point, the person has already chosen to go into there. They don't need. They already saw that before. We leave that there so that they have a sense of where they were. Anyway, if we could squish the logo down. So there is an issue here. Like, one of the issues is that there's just not enough room to show the whole interactive lab. And so you do get this sort of squished iframe effect. Hence the reason that both people are able to maximize the lab and to exit into a full window. Even when you go into the full single page window, you still might, depending upon, like, you see how you still have a vertical scroll bar? Like, that's still not great. Like, we would, and that's not necessarily, that's variable, right? Depending upon how long the description of the lab is. So you still might find that people are like, a little bit, it's not the best thing. They still might want to maximize it.
Yeah, I was talking about removing it from the container component so that it can take up more space, like it is in that Envoy proxy interactive labs. That looks much better if we let it spread out to the entire page. Vinith, if you can open that Envoy proxy website.
News, I remember you saying that, and I missed it. So we're saying, hey, like, the container wrapper, or the container component, it's not necessary to capture all that in there.
Yeah.
Second thing is, Tommy was highlighting that those two tabs, and part of the issue that we're having with clicking on them is that there might be some padding on the y-axis. That's what she's saying. Cool. Okay. think about it. If you would, everybody use it, poke at it. If you find other issues, it might be that we're in a decent spot once we have that padding issue and the container removed. So as we look toward end of this week, so January 25th, thank goodness January has 31 days, not 28 days. I think that we should pull the trigger. Like we should be planning to pull the trigger, planning to invoke Shoebank's, go live PR. Whew. Ooh, there's a lot of missing content to Josh's point. Like there's a number of things that need to be rewritten. There's a number of things that where you go to the page and if you're having a world-class page, you're having a really and by the way, we're not too far off. Like we're getting close to this being, I don't know, somewhat, fairly state of the art. Like it's not a net new experience that you've never had anywhere else. Like we don't want that because that type of a thing is freaking confusing because it's so awesome and spectacular. You have no idea how to use the site because it's so far removed from what you've done in the past. It's not what we desire. We've been brave enough. It's taken all of my courage to have a black page like this. But anyway, well, the point is, it's looking fantastic. There's, if you go and really critically analyze some of the pages, I'm sure if you just randomly go to any other page, if you were to sit back and say, what's the message here? What's the message? What are we trying to tell people? And then what are we trying to get them to do? And what do we want to, impart? What are we trying to give to them?
Vineet, I'm not sharing. Could you switch to the site?
Yeah, like any page just that you randomly come across, Vineet. Yeah, that means that hey, this website, like any piece of software, is a living, breathing thing. It's just at various points in time, it's either ready to be shown or not. And we're pretty darn close. I think we're probably to a point where Josh has done a great job about 3 different times creating different lists saying, here's all the pages. Have they been migrated out? Do we have everything that we have on Layer5.io represented here? And I think we checked that box a while ago, or all those boxes. There were a lot of them. Then, and then, yeah, anyway, we might need kind of a final list, and we might need to start to get crazy with opening up the issues, being, pointing out that no longer is it okay if there's missing content or if something's misspelled or if, and one thing that I don't know that we've quite concluded on under, I think it's under projects beneath. Nope, it's under. So actually, that's curious and interesting. How did the sample come to be?
Yeah. So because I made the individual projects page and removed the MDX files, so to have at least 2 of the MDX file, I had to turn the sample published to be true.
Gotcha.
Have
Okay.
to basically hard code the projects here instead of taking it from the MDX file because we are for all the projects we are currently not on MDX file.
Which also works out fine because it's not like we have 100 projects like we have 100 blog posts. It's not like we're gonna be bringing new projects so fast that we want them to show up dynamically. It's okay that that's more controlled. Same for the books. Unless some of the rest of you start to write some, which again is entirely open to you. There is an overlap on that text right there. Huh. Okay, so I guess that issue is still open that that Emperor Y had pointed out. Okay,
Also, these need to be published, right?
that's what I was gonna. So this is something I don't know that we've quite figured out. Okay, so we have these two concepts that are highly related and they're slightly separate. We have these. We have events where we go speak or we go host a booth at, and they get loaded up into the calendar. We also give workshops, and those are serve as two things. They serve as like workshops on the workshop page, but a lot of times we're giving those workshops at an event. And yeah, beneath, if you go back, is it under learn? Yeah, no, it's under community. Community. It
It's not projects. Oh, what do you want?
yeah, the intro to Istio, the advanced
Okay.
Istio. Yeah, you're right. Those are broken links, and so the question is, right now, are these hard coded and fixed, or are you pulling from a collection?
I'm pulling from the collection.
And then if in fact you're pulling from the collection, educate me. Why do the links not work? Just because we're pointing to a
Because in the MDX file, it's not mentioned like I'm not pulling which are published equal to true. I'm just pulling everything. I mean, I didn't specify the filter there because if I specify filter, it's I mean I'm getting broken. I mean, I'm not getting any images from the graphical query.
okay. So that's another item to follow up on is updating the MDX files to include a published front matter.
And also we don't have any pages for them, so we are not getting any links.
Oh, because we don't publish the collection.
Yeah, for events for all the events we have external links, and we
All
don't
right.
have any pages for the links for any of the events.
So this is something probably to have a better long-term solution for post go live. It could be that for go live, we just, since this is or maybe this is, yeah, because ultimately it sounds like we'd want to publish the collection of events. Like how challenging is this if every time that someone clicks one of these two links that it directs them to the calendar or the events page, but sort of deep links them to the anchor for that area? I don't know. The problem with publishing the collection is what Tanuj had said, which is like, well, beyond what we're showing in the card, they're really, if they were each published to their own page, like today we don't have any additional content, so it's not. An alternative approach here is we do have regular events that's meetings like this one. Like maybe we should put something static like a link to the calendar or a link to the meeting details page for one of them, you know. So anyway, something to figure out. I'm taking a note right here, just that we need to identify what that is.
Yeah, I need a feedback for a page. Can I move on to that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Vinit, can you let me share my screen?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the getting started mm, page of Mesri. So I try to replicate the design as much as possible from there. So the one thing I had doubt here, this cutoff sections, because if I did let them cut off in the home page, as I tried to make the page responsive, I was not sure how to do how to handle that. So what I did was currently list all of them uh, normally and implemented this.
Nice. Yeah, that's about, I mean, while it looks prettier when that they're cut off, it's actually because we're intending for the cards to be functional and people to click them and see the icon to click them. Like if we do end up hanging cards off the page, it would be under the premise that we don't ever intend for someone to click those. And yeah, Tanuja's voice is really low. But so Tanuja, I think you did the
I
right.
don't. Something is wrong with Zoom. Yeah.
It's probably the Chinese guys. They're probably intercepting the. Where's Asuko when we
Using
need?
close relations.
Asuko would be the first one to say that that's true. Cool. So Tanuja, I think you did the right thing. Like, I think that yeah, if we could, we maybe we would come back later to enhance the look of it, but we would do it with the intention of people not actually being able to click the other. Anyway, this is fine. We shouldn't even mess with it. Like, this is great.
Yeah, and I, we need the
Yeah.
content for all of the sections currently. I have currently added the for the homebrew because I was able to find out on Meshidor. For the others, I don't know what should be there.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, those are easy to get. Just go through the documentation and pick out the first 3 commands.
Okay.
That should work for most of these.
And one more thing, same thing with this section also. Uh, it was it was like in this section also there are two parts. The two parts are there, and the below one was slightly shifted towards the left. But again, I had the same problem that if I did that in the home main page, then I would face similar issue if I tried to make it responsive. I wasn't sure what to do with this.
This is and you're talking about the single row versus double row quotes.
Yeah, I can make it double row, but the in that it will be like they will be stacked one below the other and not slightly uh,
Oh,
towards the left.
right.
That
They won't be
issue will
offset.
be. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it's easier. So okay, good. I mean, it's not that we can't go live with this view, and in some respects, it makes it easier on not having to get as many quotes because we won't have as many to show. We won't have to. You won't have 2 columns to fill in, 2 rows to fill in. So
We have two already, right?
say it again.
We already have two of them. Like the testimony part will be, or testimonials will be here, right?
Right. Yeah. There's actually, I think there's a third. There's one that's about the workshops and what some people have said about workshops, of which we have like tons of quotes. There's this one for testimonies on Meshery, and then I'm not sure if there's a page that we have right now that serves as the temporary homepage, and I don't know if it has the testimony included still. This actually, as we go to wrap up the call, that's actually the right, like there's 2 sets, basically the most important pages we've yet to conclude on, which is the home page and the 3 Meshery pages. And either yet to conclude or yet to fully implement. So if you're able to pull up the Figma, I think we can both make some quick decisions and put some names next to the work.
Yeah. shared. Because my voice is low, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way, Tanuj, of the three Meshery pages, the one that you were just showing, that is the
Getting started.
getting started.
It's the project measure, right?
Say it again, Josh.
Uh, no, so like the index page, like the landing page for the mastery will be the yeah. So this one is left to update.
Now, I'm yeah. I still really enjoy what you've got currently. You know, the one that looks a bit like Stripe.com. But I don't know if Josh, had you previously tried to, like, is it possible for us to get something into the nav bar?
I tried and I think we can do it. I'll just check it out, but I remember that yeah, we can have that thing probably.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. That'd be really nice. And I don't think that it's too much to have this and you know this, like, they're related, and that's fine. Like they'll end up tying into one another. So Josh, you have this. That's right. You know what we need is Josh's face. We need little faces floating around. And Tanuj, you have this. I think Tanuj, you have both of these other two. I think. Now, Tanuj, one thing that's like not entirely correct, like is this. Like I don't know that that's what we were intending to show. It's a good placeholder for showing something. So if you can treat this as don't spend a lot of time on this particular image, but
Okay, sure. Okay, apart from the rest of this page is approved, right? I can work on this.
it's these. I still like I don't you know. I'm being the problem guy. I'm being the person who brings up the problems and doesn't offer a solution at the same time. And that's not a good place to be. I was just telling that last night. So I'm stuck. Does anybody, is there anything else we can think of for these
icons?
Yeah. Or just not having them, or like
How about small meshy icons?
yeah, that might be, yeah. And yep, the only way that wouldn't work as well is if we're trying to say something specific to Nginx and specific to Linkerd. And I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think it's, in fact, it's, I mean, that might be the right answer, in part because we don't have like,
yeah, like mastery would be like over publicizing the product. It would seem if we try to edit it.
yeah. We're probably missing a couple of these.
So, like, are we having any graphic regarding any mesh or something?
Most of them don't have a user. Linkerd has one, although we're it's a slight detraction from Meshery's value when we promote the other control plane interface. And that's because Meshery doesn't have all of the value that it should have today. Eventually, we won't be really concerned with the dashboards that each of the control planes have, each of the other service meshes have, because ours will be so much more capable. Today, it's not. And so it's a little bit, it's like promoting an alternative interface.
So I think we can just discuss the icons, like we go on adding this and then we think of what we can do it on the.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I
perfect.
can keep that also as a placeholder, and I will implement rest of the page.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, so is this page also being going to are we going to implement the distributed performance management? Okay,
Yeah.
Tom is going to do.
Well, I'm asking if she wants to do it. It looks like she's going to do it. Look at that. It says Tommy. I mean, she must be doing it. Yeah. Tommy, I don't know. Think about this, if you would. I think there's an existing page, and we're just looking at refactoring it.
Oh, and we are we're not talked about the home page yet.
Okay, so last one, and I know. By the way, I know we're 18 minutes over time, and we're talking for at least another 5 minutes. So if people need to go, like Shubham did, don't feel bad. Okay, so
yeah, just a reminder, Josh, the SEO thing that you wanted to ask, don't forget about it.
Yeah, I can ask it on Slack as well if time. So yeah, I'll just ask it later. If we can just first talk on the home page first.
So clearly we're like it. It's, I don't know that we have indecision as much as we're trying to make it fantastic. We're trying to make, and basically the last thing that's being iterated on is the hero image. The rest of it is ready to go. The design is ready to go. The implementation needs to happen. So on that, do you want to try to get some names next to these things?
Yeah. So like we cannot wait. Like the section already approved sections can be started working upon.
Yeah, these are basically these are all approved. These are but so the hero is, it might be not too painful that isn't quite figured out. The latest thinking, kind of brainstorming, has been that perhaps this, so we want to have something unique to us, while things like waves are pretty and can be like even have a slightly animated gradient, which would be awesome, like Stripe's page. Problem is, so many vendors in this space, so many sites in this space have waves. Like it's been overused. This is slightly different, kind of nice. But anyway, what we've been trending toward is exploring use of this like visualization. This is a bit meshy in nature. Each node is interconnected, and the thought being, maybe this is the right thing to use, particularly if we could have some subtle animation going on.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah. You can do that with Lottie, I think, here.
And so, does anybody want to try that out? can be one of those things that we go out static with, but add the animation to, later.
Mhm.
And I say that in part because Tanuj, your name is on the tip of my tongue, but I know that you've got, you still got to.
I was waiting for someone to take it. If nobody will, I will take it, obviously.
So this is it is an SVG, this thing, which
Yeah.
which means like, yeah, you'll have spent so much time inside of SVGs. Nice. There's also, I think sections of these have not been done. So Tomi, again, like no pressure, but just in case you're looking for items, like this section here, I don't think that that's been done. And I don't believe that either of these two sections have been done. This one was piss poorly done by me. It doesn't actually, I ran out of time and I didn't quite hit the mark over here. This one has not been worked on either. It's a slider. This is not a slider. It's just a static thing. And this is fantastic. This is something that we should make copies of and put in different places from different books. It's really powerful. You're pulling out a statement from the book and saying.
So are you having any component for it, or like a block code with an image?
Yeah, as a matter of, yeah, that would be helpful. I think in general, like having components are pretty. Yeah, I think it would be helpful. I think we should put that in a couple different places.
Adit, if I'm pronouncing that right, is asking if the pages implementation shared. You can take any of this if you want.
Adit, you.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think yeah. So and Tomi is asking exactly that. Yeah, Tomi, this all of these basically are in need of being implemented. Even this one, it's a slightly different call for email. And so, but I don't know, Tomi, that issues have been created to point to each of these. So we should do that to help clarify. And like Josh, even if that's something as simple as just taking a screenshot or exporting this section and just like, it doesn't need a lot of explanation necessarily, at least not for Tomi, because she's got a lot of, but that way it would be clear that those are. So I think this is about the only image, the only area where putting my face is probably okay. I think that's it. But then everywhere else, like I'm really anxious about being in the picture. Anybody else has some great pictures of them and you want to offer up your face?
So I was just going to ask Shriti, like you could just so like you'll be having the most important thing. Is Shriti on call?
Yep, I am.
Yeah, so like the most important thing is like you'll have to look at the website and check out all the images and text and confirm it with Lee if possible.
Yeah, sure.
And one item, yeah. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Shriti around quite as much, it's in part because she's in process of physically heading back to university, and she's in crunch mode on exams and stuff. So she's been.
Yeah, like if it's possible, then like I can do it as well. Yeah, I just wanted
I'm sure
to.
it will be. I'll make time.
Yeah, no problem. Because the most busy person is Lee here, I think so. So getting things done from him will be taking time.
I'll be I'll be a caffeine addict permanently after this. I think I have the jitters right now. I only have like 1 cup in me. Cool. Well, the last thing was a topic on SEO. It sounds like maybe we'll put that into Slack.
Yeah, and for the part of this page, like if anyone on the call wants to take up any of the sections that are approved, then you can just message it on website channel. So like we take care and we don't take it, or we'll be taking those sections individually and adding those. Like we have 2 to 3 new contributors who are like really asking me to give them issues, so I'll just ping them, Yash, Vardhan, and to one or four of them. So I'll provide them with the sections for the homepage for now.
Nice. I'll also go through and try to help create issues because that'll really help drive some clarity. Since Tomi is on the call, she gets to have first pick of the ones that she wants to do. Oh wait, Chinmay's on the call as well. So okay, there he is. Anyway,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, Chinmay will take care of. Yeah, we'll assign you as well.
It's down to the wire. Josh is gonna ride me hard this week. Oh boy, I'm ready.
Yeah. So I'll just ask you to write the descriptions. I just mentioned the sheet shared. Yeah.
For the SEO, great. On that, did it make sense what I was saying about the social image?
Yeah. So I don't have that idea. Like, are we having any social image? But for the pages, like the pages, we can have those. Like only for the pages, like the community, let's say the events and all those stuff only. So yeah, I'll look into the SEO component and we'll add it as there.
Is okay. By the way, the SEO component literally a React component, right?
Yeah. So it's already built in the gateway.
Ideally, as you
the template. Yeah.
Ideally, as you look at it, it would have either it would have the ability, or we would give it the ability to, for each page. I forget the name of the metadata tag that you use to say, hey, when someone shares this link on Twitter, when it unfurls in Slack, when it gets shared on LinkedIn or what have you, like you can, this, what we're talking about is that you can be explicit with what image gets shown. And there are developer tools for both LinkedIn and Twitter, and I'm sure Facebook is, that will let you test out the URL to confirm that, without having to actually tweet it, you can go test to see if it's going to retrieve the right image, the one that you've specified. Different platforms, some of them will support an SVG, but the safe route is a PNG. And what I was going to say is that ideally each page, has an image that's unique to that page, although there will be a number of pages where they just need to show the Layer5 logo because it's the home page, or because we don't have a great image. We need to have a default. Like if one isn't specified, the default image is this Layer5 logo.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll look into it. Yeah, definitely.
Everybody good? We okay to conclude?
Right, the search plugin. Is somebody working on that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tanuj, you might, I don't know if you want, you might, even if you figured it out like 2 minutes from now, if you would do me a favor and try to loop in Harshita Kanal, because I think she'd shown some interest there, and so it'd just be good to
Okay, sure.
Try to loop her in. And particularly if you don't get it in 2 minutes, then hopefully looping her in helps. So, okay. Well, thank you all. The 31st is when? like this. Yep, Sunday. Okay. Okay. Publish or bust, I guess. Nice. Talk to you guys on an upcoming call. See you guys very shortly.
All right. Bye-bye.
Over and out. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.